Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting Scenic Group webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run about 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Richard Hickey. Richard has been working in various positions for several major travel companies throughout his 34-year travel career. He began with Norwegian Cruise Lines and has been involved with both inside and field sales efforts for Disney Cruise Line, Club Med, and Oceania, and as manager of national accounts for MSC Cruises and senior director with Scenic Group. He has a very strong reputation within the agent community as a supporter of their sales efforts. And with that, take it away, Richard.
Thank you, Anna. Pleasure catching up with you. Well, hello, travel partners. Thank you for taking your time to hear about Scenic Group. I hope your summer's been well. I'm here in South Florida where we've had some record heat, so looking forward to start to cool off. So for those who aren't familiar with Scenic Group, we offer small ship cruising in the luxury and premium space between Scenic and Emerald Cruises, both on rivers and ocean. And I could literally spend 3 hours talking about each one of our brands and experiences, but I'm just going to really focus on the features and benefits on why you should be selling us on the rivers and the oceans, and really what makes us different out there as well. But if you're, again, not familiar, Scenic is my luxury all-inclusive, where Emerald is more the premium brand, and I'll point out the features and benefits in each one of these experiences. But if you're not familiar, we are an Australian company. Our roots started, and journey actually started with our owner about 36 years ago. Started offering motor coach tours around Australia, was very successful, got into the river cruise industry in 2008 with Scenic Rivers. Emerald Rivers, we started in 2014 and got into the ocean with the Eclipse back in 2019. And this year we launched the Emerald Yacht Cruises in March. So pretty wide breadth of the experiences that we cover around the countries, but family owned and operated. Glenn and his wife, Karen, are hands-on with the company, running the company, and really proud that Karen is responsible for the interior and the build of the ship, and she does a wonderful job. So know that our owner takes good care of his company. So we're going to start off with Scenic River Cruising. Scenic, we currently own and operate what we call 15 spaceships. And the reason we call our ships spaceships is we offer some of the most spacious accommodations and public rooms on the rivers that we do cruise. And on Europe, we do focus on primarily on the Rhine, Main, and Danube. So cruising from the North Sea down to the Black Sea, where we have the majority of our inventory, focusing on that Rhine, Upper Danube, and Lower Danube as well. We do have 3 ships in France. I'll talk a little bit about the France cruises a little bit later in the presentation with Scenic, covering the south of France on the Rhone and Saône, going into the Bordeaux region, covering all the wine regions, and the historic Seine River, cruising out of Paris. Now, I did mention that most of my spaceships hold up to 163. One of the smaller ships is a Scenic Gem that cruises the Seine, going all the way into Honfleur. She only carries 128 guests, and she's purpose-built for this cruise because she goes all the way into Honfleur, like I said, and offers an overnight. And one of the key selling points to this particular cruise is going over to Normandy beaches. Being able to go into Honfleur in the overnight, we have more time over there. And we're also in the Douro, going into northern Spain. The Scenic Azure carries just 96 guests, so a smaller vessel going into the Douro. So that's our world where we cruise over in Europe, primarily offering 8 to 15-day cruises. But as I mentioned, we started as a land touring company, so you always want to sell our pre and post extensions as well when you're promoting and selling the Europe experience. Why Scenic? Truly all-inclusive experience when you put your clients on board. I really don't even take their credit cards when they first embark. It's all the dining experiences. We have from fine dining to relaxed dining. It's all the beverages. the regional wines, the spirits, complimentary mini bars in every one of the suites. We've got butler service that I'll talk a little bit about. And then most importantly, as you know, river cruising is about stepping ashore and really experiencing the culture, the history, and the architecture. And we do a great job with our tours. We have free choice tours, which are based on interest and activity. And then Scenic and Rich, these are our exclusive events where we take your clients behind the scenes for private access and special moments. We've got a group of journey designers that are always out there going to the destinations that we're taking your clients and researching these venues to make sure that we create wow moments ashore. So it's the nth degree when it comes to the inclusions. As I mentioned, dining from relaxed to casual. You've got the Crystal Restaurant where all meals are served, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But then we have smaller event experiences. The River Cafe, which is pretty much all-day grazing area, we call it. Early morning breakfast, light lunch, early afternoon finger sandwiches. Portobello's and Lemoore. These are alternative experiences that all guests have access to, that reservations are needed, and they will make reservations on board. And then we have Table Louise and Table Dior. These are degustations. These are 6-course meals paired with wines, exclusive for Diamond Deck guests. And then, of course, we have room service with the butlers. So there's plenty of opportunities to experience the cuisine on board because our chefs do take great pride in preparing not only regional cuisine, but their own special menu that they've created on board for your clients. When you look at the accommodations, we offer a variety of size staterooms on the Scenic spaceships. This is our entry-level balcony with starting at 205 square feet. We always like to point out one of the innovations our owner designed is the Scenic Sun Lounge. So this is the open-air balcony. As you see here, it's a full glass window, but it's a 2-tiered window. So the bottom part is stationary, and the top part is adjustable with the touch of a button. And you can see the button on the right-hand side there. So no matter what the weather's like, the guests can sit outside and enjoy the river landscapes. We've got the Scenic Slumber Bed. These are mattresses exclusively made for Scenic. We have infotainment centers. These are TVs that are connected to Wi-Fi because we do include Wi-Fi both in the staterooms and out in the public rooms so guests can stay connected. Current events, watch movies, post pictures if they want to on social media. All right, and then we have obviously the nice toiletries with the Espas on board in these suites. Butler service, I always recommend take a look at the menu of amenities that we offer in every category on board of Scenic spaceships because our butlers expertly trained. They're there to really pamper the guest experience, but all guests have access to butlers, not just the suites, but all guests, even the lower categories. However, I encourage you to really get familiar with the amenities and services in the higher categories because it's an opportunity for you to upsell. You're going to upsell to the higher categories, larger suites, guests walking away with a pampered vacation, and you're going to make more money in your pocket, okay? Beverage service, packing and unpacking in the suites, shoe shine, garment pressing, making the dinner reservations in the alternative experience as well, delivering the canopies in the suites. And speaking of suites, we have some of the largest on the rivers that we cruise. This is the Royal Owner Suite over in Europe. So on 10 of our spaceships cruising the Rhine, Main, Danube in France, we have the Royal Owner Suite at 520 square feet. We actually have 3 categories in the Royal category: Royal Owners, Royal Suites, and Royal Panorama Suites. All right, so very nice, spacious staterooms. You've got separate bedrooms, walk-in closets. When you get into the Royal category, you have the larger bathrooms with the tubs and showers, separate sitting areas. So again, you've got that upscale guest looking for the larger suites. We've got them on board the Scenic spaceships. Finding out that guests these days like to continue their workout routines. So on all of our spaceships, we do have fitness centers. We've got cardiovascular equipment. We've got some light weights as well. But we also have introduced the wellness ambassadors on board. So we've got wellness ambassadors on board that are going to offer stretching classes, yoga classes. They're going to be really playing an integral part in the guest experience on board, as well as ashore with some of the guided bike tours that we have. Continuing with the innovations, we try to bring ocean highlights to river cruising. And one of these innovations is the salt therapy rooms that we have on 10 of those spaceships, as I mentioned earlier. If you're not familiar with these salt rooms, this is a very growing spa trend, popular spa trend, where you walk into these rooms and there's salt blocks and salt on the floor, and you sit there, and it's good if you happen to have maybe some skin ailments, respiratory ailments. I like to sit in there after I've done a red eye, a night prior flight over to Europe. I sit there and I kind of get some rejuvenate myself in the salt therapy rooms. But these are some of the highlights that we do have on the scenic rivers. And another innovation on our ships in France, the two ships, the Scenic Diamond that cruises the Bordeaux region and the Sapphire that cruises the south of France. We have the first ever cooking school on a river ship. It's called Scenic Culinaire. You see the executive chef in the top left-hand corner giving cooking classes. But what we've introduced is culinary cruises. So this is a great opportunity for your foodies to have some cooking classes, going ashore with the executive chef to the market, come back and prepare a meal, but also going into some organized tours. So there's a big emphasis on the culinary experiences. We're going to go to Michelin star rating restaurants. We're going to have some Michelin star chefs coming on board. So it's a great experience, like I said, for the foodies. If you've got them, we have them obviously this year. We've got them also in 2023. So reach out if you've got them. And then really one of the key features is our exclusive events. I wanted to show this because this really makes us stand out as well when our exclusive events called Scenic and Rich. Examples are on the Danube. We're going to go in Vienna. After touring throughout the day and the evening, we transfer the entire ship over to Palais Liechtenstein for private reception, private concert, private tour. No one there but the scenic guest. The Sound of Music, also on the Danube. On our 15-day Jewels of Europe cruise, we transfer all of our guests out to the rolling hills of Salzburg, out to this private chateau. We have a nice lunch, and we partner with a company that has the rights to the Sound of Music. And we have, this is an actual picture of the cast singing a lot of the old favorites. The guests get up and sing and dance with them as well. In France, the Chateau d'Aguissac, this is a 13th century chateau, one of the oldest wine producing areas in the Medoc Valley. We're going to go over there, do some wine tasting and have a classical concert. And one of the new ones that we just introduced last year is a digital art center, also in Bordeaux. It's called Les Bassins des Lumières. It was formerly a submarine base that's been transformed to a digital art center. We're going to go over there after hours, have some refreshments, and tour around and look at digital art. So the message here is, again, examples what our journey designers create for your clients that create the wow moments, those memorable experiences, but they're included and exclusive as well. We also had e-bikes on board. Guests like to continue those active experiences. These are electrically assisted bikes, so guests can go if they need a little bit of help as they're biking along, either on their own or a guided bike tour. They flip on a switch and that electric motor kicks in. However, I do like to stress that it's not a moped. You've got to continue to pedal to make sure that electric motor is going on board. And we do have a fleet of 20 bikes. And then going over to Southeast Asia, we are starting our season next month in October. Very happy to start the Southeast Asia. We got the Scenic Spirit that's going to be cruising the Mekong. She holds 68 guests. We've got a combination of 11, 13, 17, 25-day cruises. But do know that our core cruise is on the Mekong with a 3-day extension up into Siem Reap, going up into Cambodia, Siem Reap, and visiting Angkor Wat. Again, season starts in October, and we're really happy that we're going to be going into this bucket list destination. Now, let's talk about the Scenic Eclipse, continuing with the scenic experience, though, but on the ocean. So in 2019, we launched this first Scenic Eclipse, and in April of next year, we're going to be launching Scenic Eclipse 2. These yachts, as we call them, are designed for both luxury and discovery, carrying only 228 guests, except in the polar regions, 200. Scenic Eclipse is really making a statement out there because she's designed, as I said, for luxury and discovery. All right. Built with an ice-rated Polar 6 hull, it allows it to really navigate those polar regions. Truly all-inclusive just like the scenic rivers. It's all the beverages, 84 different types of wines on board. We've got sake flowing and cocos at the sushi bar. We've got the French champagne flowing in Lumieres. All the dining options, 9 dining experiences, all inclusive, and we have 24-hour room service by the butlers because, again, all guests have access to the butlers. Have some of the largest suites on ships the size that I'll talk about, but we also include the free choice tours, just like the rivers, based on interests and activity, the exclusive event Scenic and Rich, and then we have our discovery team that are really there to take the experience to another level, both on board with the enrichment classes and ashore with all the tours. So the only charges really are in the spa and rides on some of the tours that we have. This is the Scenic Lounge. I love the Scenic Lounge. I've had the experience of cruising Eclipse quite a few times. Well, I should say a couple times, going back on in just a couple weeks down the West Coast. But this is the 100 choice whiskey bar. The first impression guests will see when they do board the Scenic Eclipse. Actually, we do serve 130 choices of whiskey on board, okay? But this is a great venue, nice meeting space, pre-dinner, post-dinner cocktail. We have some light entertainment as well. And then guests can always go into the theater where we have the main entertainment, okay? We do have entertainment on board. We have dancers, routine. We do have, like I said, our discovery team that they're gonna offer lectures here as well as watch movies. So do know there's plenty of entertainment on board for your clients to experience. Dining, we take it to a whole nother level. As I said, we have 9 experiences. Won't go through them all, but it's everywhere from casual to fine dining. Coco's offers 3 experiences in one. We have Asian fusion, we have this sushi bar, and then in the back we have Coco's at night, Coco's Market at night, which reservations are needed and seats about 8 guests, kind of a tap and yap experience, if you will. The Azure Bar and Grill, tapas at night as well, early morning breakfast, lunch, afternoon. We've got Lumieres, which is a French experience for dinner. Reservations are needed. Of the open kitchen atmosphere where the chef will come out and he'll talk about what he's preparing with the French champagne flowing. We've got the Yacht Club, aft, overlooking the stern of the ship, casual, breakfast, lunch, carving stations, pasta stations, nice out in a bar, and the chef's table were invitation only. So again, fine dining to relaxed meals, all included, including room service on board. And then we do have the Epicure. This is our cooking school. Really neat. This is the picture I took when I was in the Red Sea last October. This is Chef Tom, our executive chef. He's got the cooking classes. He's got his own herbs that he grows on board as well in most destinations, and really neat. And we do include it. There's no charges for these cooking classes. So again, for those foodies, let them know about Epicure on board. Let's talk about the accommodations, because we do have a wide range of accommodations for your clients as well. This is our lead-in cabin, the Verandah Suites, anywhere from 345 to 420 square feet. Just like Scenic Rivers, they have that scenic slumber bed dressed up with Egyptian cotton linen. We have the Espa toiletries on board. They have the separate sitting area. All 114 suites do have a private verandas. And ladies, I always like to talk about the Dyson hair dryers that we have in there. So those are the Mac Daddies, they say, of hair dryers. We get into our spa suite category, all the way to 560 square feet, 538 to 560. You've got the 4-poster bed, private sitting area. You've got the Philippe Stark jacuzzi tubs in there, the double vanity as well. Important to note, when you start getting into the spa suite, panorama suite, and owner suite, guests will start to receive 1-hour complimentary spa treatments, okay? So when you're upselling, obviously you want to educate yourself on the butler services and let clients know that they're going to get spa treatment starting in the spa suite. And then our top category, 2,099 square feet, the 2 owners penthouse, overlooking the bow of the ship on deck 9. Got a nice sitting area in here in the living room. We've got a dining room table that will seat 10 guests. Tailor-made wine bar. This is the actual bedroom, and you've got that scenic, that large glass window. That's the 2-pane window where the bottom part will come down as well. And this is the bathroom. You got the jet streams in the shower, double vanity, nice size stateroom, very spacious, walk-in closets. So let your clients know about these larger suites you've got on board. Now, going ashore, our discovery team, they're the core of all of our itineraries. They're really the heart of the voyages. They're experts in their fields, from historians, geologists, archaeologists, photographers. They've got a minimum of 7 years, both in the polar and in the sun destinations as well. So this is a great picture of them on the first season of the Scenic Eclipse down in Antarctica. Speaking of the activities, so obviously in Antarctica and the polar regions, they're going to be organizing tours, landing tours aboard. As you see the wildlife and the penguins. We've got the Zodiacs on board. We have the kayaks. We have the oversized paddle boards for the polar regions as well, but guests can always go in our helicopters. We have 2 airborne Airbus H-130 helicopters on board in the hangars. There are additional costs, offering 40-minute rides, as well as the Scenic Neptune and the Scenic Triton that will be on the Scenic Eclipse 2. All right, these are additional charges. Unfortunately, they cannot be pre-booked ahead of time. They have to be pre-booked on board, okay? And the cost does vary depending on the destinations that you're going to be sending your clients. And then we have the warm water activities, okay? Because we're getting into these warm water areas. We've got the Mediterranean, we've got the Caribbean, Central America. We're going into Tahiti. So you've got the kayaks, the paddle boards. We have sea-doos on board, snorkeling, all right? So really the message here is we have identified 3 types of voyages for your clients. You've got expedition voyage, you've got discovery voyage, and you have cruise voyage. When we start at the expedition voyage, you'll see here that it's primarily in Antarctica, Arctic, and Scotland. You're going to have the 20 members on board. They're going to offer the lectures, the education program, the Zodiacs, the kayaks, and then you see the company parka. The next voyage, discovery voyage, you'll have up to 15 members on board. And you can see we're going to be going into Indonesia, Australia, the Polynesian, Pacific Islands, and also the Americas. They offer the lectures, the discovery programs, but then we start getting into the Scenic and Rich, those exclusive events, and the free choice tours. And the third option is where we'll have up to 4 members. And this is primarily over in Europe and the Mediterranean. This is where we're going to start bringing on local entertainment in the theater. We have the e-bikes that we have on the rivers. You've got the kayaks, you got the free choice, and the range of water sports. So the message here is no matter where you send your clients, there's always going to be that expedition or discovery component wherever they're going to be going. And here's our map on where we're going, and you can see the breakdown here. We're going to, in 2023 and 24, we're going to be calling on 7 continents, 54 countries. We've got 85 voyages visiting 357 ports. Really, really encourage you to take a look at some of these cruises because we have some unique cruises. One of these I particularly like. This is a great 23-day cruise that's going to be repositioning from South America after the Antarctica season over into Papeete with stops in Easter Island, Robin Crusoe Island. So if you've got guests looking for those longer repositioning cruises, we've got them on the Scenic Eclipse. Going back into the home country, we're going back to Australia, our roots. We're going to bring Scenic Eclipse there. We've got a couple 14-day cruises calling on the Kimberley coast. This is some of Australia's most vast area. You've got some rugged terrain. You've got beautiful waterfalls. So we're going to be offering tours over here. The only challenge is we're not going to be offering paddle boarding or kayaking and the submarine because of the alligators. So just know that if you're looking at sending your clients to this area. And then our core cruise, obviously what the Scenic Eclipse is built for, is expedition polar cruising, especially down in Antarctica. So we've got our core 13-day Antarctica in depth. This is round trip out of Ushuaia, 2 days down to the Drake Passage, and spending about 6.5 days down in the Antarctica, really experience the 7th continent. The Scenic Eclipse has some really unique skills, and one of them is called GPS dynamic positioning, where it allows her to stay stationary wherever she is without having to drop an anchor. So if the captain happens to find an island of ice, he can sit there, put on the GPS dynamic positioning, the ship will stay moored without having to drop anchor, and guests can get off and hang out with the penguins right there. Always, always recommend the Scenic Eclipse if you're going to be selling Expedition Polar Regions. Very, very popular these days. Now we're going to over to Emerald Cruises. Emerald Cruises, as I said, is more of our premium experiences, offering both river and ocean. We're going to talk about river at first, but what is the exceptional Emerald value? So we look at it as kind of a value proposition to Scenic. Not as inclusive, not as many choices, but priced a little bit less, about 30% less. So we include wine, beer, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. A daily excursion. We do have extra special tours that we offer. Emerald Active and Emerald Plus I'll talk about. We've got the Wi-Fi, bottled water, but one of the key features and inclusions is we do include gratuities, and that's a strong value, especially in the premium market on the rivers. On the rivers, we have 9 what we call spaceships. We call them spaceships because of the design and innovations. Now, most of our spaceships do carry up to 181 guests. Remember Scenic 163, Emerald Spaceships 181, and majority of those are on the Rhine, Main, Danube. Okay, we do have the Liberté that's on the south of France, carrying 128 guests, and we have the Radiance that cruises the Douro, 112 guests. Okay, so a lot of the same itineraries that we do offer with Scenic as well, but remember, hold a few more guests, not as many inclusions, not as many options. When you look at the balconies, we have the open air balcony, similar Scenic. This is our lead-in panorama balcony suite at 180 square feet. We have the infotainment center as well. Then we have our top category at 315 square feet. So not as large as Scenic, because we do hold a few more guests, but nice size. You've got a separate sitting area. We do offer the concierge service. So get familiar with the concierge service that we do offer in the higher categories here with a 1-bedroom suite, allowing some complimentary laundry. We've got the espresso machines in there. We've delivered some canopies. So educate yourself so you can upsell, more money in your pocket, clients walk away with a pampered experience. We do have the wellness and spa area, cardiovascular machines, light weights, but we offer the activity managers, and they really play an integral part, just like the wellness ambassadors on Scenic. They're going to be offering stretching classes, yoga classes, and they're also entertainers. They're going to be entertaining guests in the evening. We do bring on some regional entertainment, but they're there. Karaoke, we've got some karaoke classes. We've got trivia classes. So guests will get together, form groups, and have a lot of fun in the evening as well. One of the most stunning innovations on the Starships is the heated indoor pool. You can do some laps. I did happen to experience Emerald twice this year, once in March and once in April. Love that heated indoor pool with a retractable roof because I can do some laps, can do some water aerobics with the activity manager, but in the evening, we drain the water, we lift the bottom of the pool, and it transforms into cinema. We show movies. I happened to see yesterday that Beatles movie when I was on board. We show live sporting events and taped concerts as well. So let's talk about what makes us different on Emerald. So we do have Emerald Plus. These are extra special tours. These are cultural experiences that we take your clients into the heart of the customs and the local life. This is an example of the Danube in Bratislava. We go to this gentleman's home. We have some cake and some liqueur and some coffees. He tells stories and lies. It's a lot of fun. We have onboard workshops, performances, special culinary events. So these are included, and they're extra special tours that we don't charge for. And then we have found that the Emerald guest tends to be very active. So we started the Emerald Active Tours. As I mentioned earlier, there are a variety of classes, yoga, Pilates, aqua aerobics that you saw. Over in Europe, we'll offer 40 unique tours, 20 guided bike tours, okay, in 8 countries. Then we've got 19 guided bike tours where you can go 150 miles of cycling, kayaking tours in the Douro and the Rhone. So if you've got those clients that like to be active, let them know that these are included and they're guided as well, or they can go off on their own. Just depends on what their needs are on the vacation. But on Emerald, important to know that we have Discover More. Discover means pay more, okay? These are optional tours. So when you go to that Viennese concert with Emerald, you would pay. The optional tours go anywhere from 49 to 110 euros. So make sure you let your clients know about these ahead of time. Sometimes they go over there, they're not prepared, they don't know about these, and they'll book them over there. You get commission when you pre-book them. And then just like Scenic, we're starting back on the Mekong with the Emerald Harmony. Emerald Harmony carrying 84 guests, offering those cruises out of Ho Chi Minh City, cruising up the Mekong with a 3-day extension into Siem Reap. I will say that the Emerald Harmony is the only ship of her size built to berth right downtown in Ho Chi Minh City. So we built our own infrastructure right there in Ho Chi Minh City. We own and operate our own ships. We have our own crew there. So we're excited about the season opening up again. And then last, we have the Emerald Yachts. Very, very happy about what's going on with the Emerald Azura. She started sailing in March of this year and getting great reviews. Her sister ship, the Sakara, will start sailing in Q3 next year. These are just super yachts, basically carrying just 100 guests. They're designed with a modern feel. We've got plenty of public spaces, spacious suites on board. This is similar to the Scenic Emerald. You have the same lounge names. You've got the Horizon Bar and Lounge. This is where a nice pre-dinner, post-dinner cocktail. This is where you'll have your entertainment. We've got Reflections Restaurant. So you've got indoor, outdoor dining. It leads out to the terrace for some alfresco dining as well. All 3 meals are served here, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Obviously, chefs are going to be preparing meals based on the destinations that we're going to be cruising. We have the pool cafe. This is really neat. This is an infinity pool aft of the ship with a cafe. So light breakfast, light lunch. If guests want to sit outside, read a book, relax. The goal is to have your clients feel like they're millionaires on their own private yacht. And one of my favorite places is going to be the Sky Bar and Pool up on top deck. So this is top deck, where we do have the jacuzzi pool and the bar. And in the evening, we have a screen where we can convert it into a cinema where we'll show movies on select evenings at the Sky Bar and Pool up on the top deck. You've got your balcony suites. We've got some nice size staterooms. 88% feature private verandas or terraces, starting at 183 square feet. So what we do is, this is a balcony, but we do have a category with a picture window starting at 183 square feet. This is our balcony, starting at 285 square feet. Then we have our yacht and terrace suite category. We've got the yacht and suite terrace starting at 684 square feet, going all the way up to 721 square feet on the terrace suite. They actually have that terrace. Again, concierge service. Get familiar with the amenities and services that we do offer with the concierge service. And then our top category, the owner's suite at 1,163 square feet. You've got a private terrace, separate lounge, sleeping area, walk-in closets, welcome champagne, pre-dinner canopies. Again, get familiar, educate, upgrade, walking away with more money in your pocket. Clients are a little bit more pampered experience. Where are we cruising? So right now, we are cruising we're not going into the Red Sea, I should say. We're year-round over in the Mediterranean. We're doing the Eastern Med, the Western Med, the Adriatic coast. We were going into the Black Sea, but we're not doing the Black Sea. We're also going into the Red Sea as well, down to Egypt, doing that Saudi Arabia cruise as well. And then we're going into the Seychelles down in the future as well. Also, we're 2023, we're going into the Caribbean. In November of 2023, we're bringing both yachts into the Caribbean, focusing on some of those smaller ports, but also calling on the marquee ports, going out of San Juan, going out of Antigua, and we're also doing some Central America cruises. I happen to like that Central America cruise, going out of Barbados, then ending up transiting the canal and ending up in Panama City. That's a 10-day cruise. So excited about this. You've got the smaller ship smaller yacht, I should say, calling on smaller harbors. We've got a marina platform where we're going to have kayaks, the Zodiacs. We have the float island as well. And this is a great shot of what our goal is. Smaller harbors. Our chef is going to go ashore, source some local markets, depending on where we're going, and preparing a lot of the local flavors as well. Now, some nuts and bolts before we open it up for questions. If you're not familiar with our agent portal, please register. Go online. I'm going to share some emails with you when we get to the end here. But always register at the agent portal. You have access to a variety of tools, but most importantly, ExpressBooks, which is our booking engine. You check availability, you create a quote, create a booking, you can make credit card payment. Basically allows you to manage your bookings without having to call in, okay? We've sometimes during certain parts of the year, we've had to experience long wait times. This is a great way to make your booking and secure the booking with your payments. Yeah, sometimes you have to call in. I always encourage you to not call in on Mondays. Call in, Tuesdays through Fridays because Mondays are always busy. But again, check out ExpressBooks. And right now, through September 30th, when you make your bookings through ExpressBooks, you're going to get an additional 5% commission. So more money in your pocket by using the online booking engine. We've got some very generous offers. We've got our Discover the Wonders Beyond campaign with Scenic. We have River and the Scenic Eclipse options. River up to $3,000 per suite on our 11-day plus cruises. On the 8+ day, we've got $2,000, and then we do have some 5-day cruises on the Danube. This is from Vienna to Budapest. We have $1,000 per suite. Okay, and then for the ocean experiences, 20% savings. Plus, we have 2-for-1 business class on select 2023 sailings. So some great offers for your clients. And for those of your clients who have the money and want to pay in full, we do have additional incentives for them if they pay in full a year out, okay? And on the Emerald, we've got the Great Escape offer with up to $2,500 on the rivers and 20% savings on the super yachts on the oceans, plus free premium drinks. So they could basically make it an all-inclusive experience on the free premium drink on select departures, okay? So if you've got 2022, 2023 departures, make sure you do take a look at that if you've got clients looking at the Emerald experience as well. And then speaking of Emerald, we just launched a group, whether it's Scenic or Emerald, we love groups. We've got a dedicated group department, but on Emerald, we just launched a really aggressive group promotion where we have free air or $1,000 per person savings, cruise only, that premium drink package, or if guests aren't drinkers, they can have the additional option of $150 per person on board credit. The tour conductor 1 for 9, so the 10th guest would go free. You'd have to sign a new group agreement by October 1st, okay? So again, great offer, very aggressive. It's on select departures. I encourage you, if you're group producers, we've got a great program. Reach out to your regional sales directors, depending on where you're located in the U.S. market. We'll start at the top with Tim Birch in the Midwest, Mark Bryant, who covers the Northeast, Julia Block, she's in the Southeast, Andy Fuentes in Florida, Charlotte Smith in the Southwest, Nancy Iavino in California and the Western U.S., and then Kelly Hogan in the Northwest U.S. She's located in Colorado. You've got some seasoned pros here. Make sure you reach out to them. We have plenty of marketing material to help grow your business. As you know, we're in a lot of in-person presentations are going on, and you can always reach out to myself, Richard Hickey, or Ann Chamberlain, our leader at the vice president position. Okay, so that's our sales team. Make sure you reach out. And on behalf of Scenic, I want to thank you. Appreciate your support. And we can open it up for some questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We do have a few questions coming in, and I invite everybody to keep them coming. Our first question is from Alma, who is wondering if any of the pools are salt pools.
No, these are freshwater pools. Great question. Yes, freshwater pools.
Got it. Our next question is from Kathy, who is wondering what kind of groups they should be targeting. So I know that you mentioned foodies and that there's cooking classes on board. So what kind of other groups should agents be targeting?
Sure. So, so I can speak to, both river and ocean. So when you look at our demographic, we really focus on the 55 to 75. So we've got the boomer to mature audience, okay? I will tell you on the river side, it's an active experience, all right? So we think that every river is a theme type of cruise, not just because we have the culinary theme cruises, but every river cruise. Reach out to us. We hit the 55 and over communities. Align yourself with a charity. We have your sales representative has an arsenal of tools to help you promote groups. Start with an affinity. I always say start with your own interests. What type of interest do you have that you can turn into a group, okay? Start with your foundation of friends and family, churches as well. So there's a lot of ways that we can help you create groups and going out there, looking at both the river and the ocean experiences. But reach out to your sales rep. Happy to sit down, or myself, happy to sit down and go over a program with you.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Cheryl, who is wondering if you can speak about single supplements and single sailors.
Yeah, great question, Cheryl. Thank you for that. So on the rivers, on Scenic Spaceship and on the Scenic Spaceships and the Emerald Starships, we do have a single stateroom, okay? But they go very fast. They go very fast. And seasonally, we do have 150%. So instead of the 200%, it's 150%, and it's usually the shoulder seasons. However, I always say check with us because we do, throughout the year, we may have a sailing where there's a tactical offer where we will do 150% of well, and it's not just the shoulder season, you know. So obviously, we want to maximize the yields, and in the prime season, 200%. But again, we do have a single stateroom that goes quickly, so always inquire about that. But then on the shoulder seasons, the beginning of the season, end of the season, we do offer 150%.
Okay, great. And it looks like this is our last question from Jennifer, who has a few clients that love ocean cruising and are interested in river cruising and is wondering what itinerary you would recommend on Scenic for them.
So they're ocean looking at river? Was that the question, Anna? Okay. Well, I will tell you that our most popular cruises for first timers is the Danube, followed by the Rhine. Okay. That Gems of Danube or that Danube Explorer on Emeralds. So you're going from Nuremberg down to Budapest. So you've got some Germany, you've got some Austria in the Wachau Valley. You're going into some marquee ports, but you're also going into small towns like Dürnstein as well. And you've got Budapest. So that tends to be a real popular one because of history, architecture, and you know, the wines as well, and then followed by the Rhine. So you've got that Amsterdam down to Basel. You got a lot of Germany. You get a little bit of France. You got the Netherlands as well. So I would really focus on those. But it's really qualifying. What do the guests look for in the experience? Maybe they're wine lovers. Look at the Bordeaux region because we focus on all 4 wine regions in Bordeaux. You know, maybe they're looking for the Douro. The Douro is a really hot destination right now. No cruising at night. You're in port because the locks are closed and it's a smaller, it's a more narrow river. So guests like that Portuguese flair over there. So again, I always ask your clients, what did they enjoy on the ocean? We are seeing a nice transition from ocean cruisers going onto river. And we're seeing a nice transition on Scenic and Emerald from river to our small ocean yachts. So again, we can basically cover your clients for both river and ocean in the small experiences. So it's a great way to cross-sell.
Okay, got it. And it looks like those are all of our questions. So thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you, Richard, for all of that information.
All right, on behalf again, thank you for your support. Reach out, we're here for you. Want to help you grow your business. Have a safe afternoon.
Bye, everyone.